I'd like to thank you for taking the time to watch this video, and I hope this finds you and your family doing well today. Today's topic is going to cover the CIU 903 and CIM 280. These devices allow us to remotely monitor the performance and operation of our renewable products, SQ and CR Flex in particular. Without further ado, one moment, let me share my screen, and we'll get to the presentation.
Well, let's take a look at the components that are required for an SQ Flex GRM installation. All the components are in the original package to illustrate the part numbers that are required. This first package is the Wi-Fi activation form, which also includes the SIM card, which we install into the CIM 280. The CIM 280 is the Wi-Fi electronics that we installed then into the CIU 903. The CIU 903 operates in a very similar fashion as the CU 200. We can wire in the float switch so that the tank doesn't overflow. It also allows us to download remotely with the Grumpus Go app site information, pump performance, fault logs, things of that nature. We're also going to need a DC rated switch. Here I've got the IO50. This could be the IO101 as well. That allows us to bring in both the AC and the DC from the panels. Important in the solar application that we are using a DC rated switch. This isn't only best business practice, it's an NEC code, and it helps ensure that we all get to go home safe at the end of the day. Our next component here is the 4G, 5G antenna. This is a 2-wire antenna, allowing for quicker transfer and receiving of information. Next up is the optional bracket for the 4G, 5G antenna. Makes for a nice clean installation. And then for the sites that the AT&T Wi-Fi service is not the strongest, we've got a high gain directional antenna that can also be used and installed. Prior to going to the job site, I suggest doing a little prep work with the CIU 903, CIM 280, and GRM activation. I'd start with the GRM activation form shown here. Simply fill out the information, listing the users and their level of access, full, operator, read-only, or a visitor. Flip the card over, it's a little more information on the back. We've got instructions laid out there, but the first number we're going to look for here is the IMEI number, which is actually located with the CIM 280. When we open the CIM 280 package, there's going to be a little bag with these stickers in it, and that number is the IMEI number. That number is also located on the CIM 280 card itself on the back side, right above the barcode. Then we're going to fill out the SIM number, and that's located on the SIM card itself. A little bit bigger there to read, but the 89 number, we'll fill that out. Once we have this form completed, we will scan and email that into gicloud@grumpus.com to get the activation process started. Now that we got the SIM card installed into the CIM 280, we'll install the CIM 280 into the CIU 903. And to do that, we're just going to line it up with the 3 plastic pins, 2 on the top, 1 on the bottom right, until it snaps in. And then we've got screws in the little bag that we'll input into that location for a secure fit. As we're still not on the job site, what I have done is pigtailed and provided power to the CIU 903 and CIM 280. With the activation form into GI Cloud, I have now contacted them, and I'm asking them to verify that they can see this device, we have communication, and we're confirming the hardware and the programming are good to go, so when we get on the job site, we don't have any issues. The other component that I like to wire before heading to the field is the IO50 or the IO101. Removing the cover, what I've installed is 2 jumper wires. This is for a floating DC AC application, which is nice with the SQ Flex because we can run that on both AC and DC. The little terminal block easily pops out with a small screwdriver, pulling down and comes off the rail. The one thing I do recommend is marking the side of this so that you can get the cover back on easily. You know where it's aligned so it matches up with the switch. Moving into the rest of the installation of the CIU 903, we're going to connect the 4G, 5G antenna. I've removed a grommet. We'd run that up and through, remove the plastic protection, and it doesn't matter which one goes on which side, but we will connect that. The reason the plastic is on the one though is if we were using the high gain directional antenna, that is a single wire system and it does need to go on the right side.
Well, now I'd like to demonstrate or show what kind of information we do that we can receive once we have these sites activated and watching. So this is a unit view screen, generic picture, but we can see the operating mode. Right now we're stopped due to a digital input on this site. That digital input happens to be a float switch. We can see what the voltage at the site is, and if the unit was running, the RPMs, the power consumption, the electronics temperature, start, stop, and the active activities. Additionally, we go into the trend curves. These are the operations from day to day of the units. Power consumption, energy consumption, the number of starts. Scrolling down that screen, we'd see the operation time. So how many hours per day this has been operating, the electronics temperatures through that time in operation, as well as the voltage on the CIU Flex. Well, I hope you found this information helpful. If you have any additional questions, please reach out to your local Grumpus distributor and or district and technical sales manager. And as always, in the field, if you have any technical questions, please reach out to the groundwater hotline at 844-824-8953. They're available Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time to 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Again, I thank you very much for joining this call and look forward to talking to you all soon.